Hey guys, Joe Mara here with Private Pilot Life, and I'm going to basically dig into my flight bag here just to show you some of the things that some of us carry. Of course, I got a watch here. I don't like to wear them. I don't know why, but I have it so whenever I start doing some IFR work that I'll be able to put it on and use it. Let's see. Here's a pulse ox. Of course, it tells you your O2 level, so if you get up into some higher altitudes there, to make sure that your oxygen level's okay, so you're not passing out. I happen to have a O2 bottle with some nasal cannulas and a mask. Just in case. Everything in aviation is redundant, and you think about safety all the time, so you just never know if you have to bump up a little bit higher and above a particular level you have to have oxygen, because the higher up you go, the thinner the air is and the less performance you have. Hence they have turbos for different airplanes, and I'm just being general here, of course. Here's a little flashlight on the side, just in case the lights go out for some reason. And obviously when you're flying at nighttime, your eyes need to adjust. Got some batteries in there. Got a Swiss Army knife. Let's see, I think I have another flashlight in here. Yep, another flashlight just in case. And I do have a flashlight in the plane as well. And it has amber and I think maybe green color. Just that way at nighttime it doesn't affect your vision too much. Here's another case. Let me just open it up here. I think I got two of those external batteries. Yeah, so I charged them up like I did today. I charged them before I came in. That's one of them. And again, things are just in case the batteries go dead on the iPhone, the iPad, in case you know, the electronics goes out in your airplane, you have a backup. Here's another one here. And so there's a little wire in here too to connect that to either the iPhone or the iPad. Let's see what else we got here. I got a set of keys for my airplane and the hangar. And I got another set in there too as well. I got, of course, normally I keep a water bottle here. And on this side you could put a radio, an external radio, which I want to get. I haven't gotten that yet. I intend to. There's a knee board on the back. My logbook's back here too. Let's see here. Yep, there's my logbook to log all the time. And that becomes more and more important with if you ever wanted to fly commercial, say. I think the standard now is like 400 hours. But don't quote me on that. I'm not a flight instructor. You can do your own research, but just know that there is a requirement for most places that you have so many hours in before they'll hire you on. So let me open this up inside. So yeah, there's my iPad. Here we go. And so I created a little knee board for myself. Actually, I bought this. It's an OtterBox, but if you take this off, I had to, they didn't make anything that would attach to the inside that I was doing my filming with, this thing right here. So, anyway, sorry about that. Somehow this shut itself off on me. But anyway, what I was talking about was the OtterBox, and either having a knee board capability or attaching to the side there so that I could use it to film with. And so I just wanted to show you that. I have in here is a Stratus. And so the iPhone, the iPad can connect to that, especially if you're up in a higher elevation. Like here in around the Northeast, there's so many cell towers, and I haven't flown real high, and typically maybe 4,500, 5,500, and I still pick up so that my ForeFlight can work. But when I was out in New Mexico, it was so vast that there were no towers around, and this I almost had to have that on in order for the ForeFlight to be updated frequently and often, and even work in most cases. The other things I got here, just some charging. I have a port inside that I can charge my phone, my Stratus, on the iPad. Here's another one here, and again, like I said, everything's redundant, so safety, safety, safety. Let's see. I had to course completion certificate. That's for the new basic med, and you'll have to check that out. It used to be for a private pilot, it was one thing, and you know, for instance, I remember I was 39, and if I got my physical at that time, I was good for, let's see, 5 years, I believe it was. And it just so happened that they come out with this new basic med before I needed my medical. So again, as we're going forward here, you're probably picking up some things if you've never flown before, but one of the things I didn't know, even though I'm from the area here in the Northeast, when I was living in New Mexico, I had to get online and do a course. In Washington, D.C., there's special flight rules. And so that's something that if you're going to be flying through this area, you definitely want to check out. And it's mandatory that you do it. So, let's see. For my Stratus on the top of my panel here, I got an extra cord there and a place to, kind of a cradle to lock it into. And today I'm going to be playing safety pilot for one of my buddies, and he has to do some IFR work, and obviously when you're doing that you need somebody in there with you. We'll probably end up having him under the hood, and I'll see if he minds if I do any filming on that, and I'll put that together for you guys. For now, I'm gonna cut out until I can walk over to his hangar. I'm gonna get my Bose A1 or A20s here, want a set of those that I can Bluetooth to this phone and see if it's a better audio for when we're flying today, and hopefully that works. So I'm gonna Bluetooth it and we'll see how it goes, and I'll be back in a bit. All right guys, here we are at the Martinsburg airport. I'm with my buddy Gary, and we are about ready to do some IFR work. He needs to make some approaches. This is his plane. It's a 181, a Piper, which you guys could look it up. And when I get back in the plane here, maybe I'll show you some instruments, and maybe we can discuss what we're about to do. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay guys, I'm going to get my car. Tried to get the plane going, and it just will not start. So again, this is part of that private pilot life that we all love. And here in the Northeast, it's 27 degrees today, so it's cold. Let's see if I can get my keys out here. Okay. So, we're gonna do what you do in the old days there, or even the current days whenever the battery's dead, and you give her a jump. There's special jumper cables for this, and I'm going to shut it off here so I can drive, but I thought it was a good ice possible, drive with care. So it is cold, and I'm going to run over there real quick and see if we can't get a jump on this airplane, and we'll tune back in after that. All right guys, so here we are, connected to my car, which is a little diesel. Recommend a little turbo diesel, and that's the special plug that goes in for it.
Clear.
All right, you heard the pilot, and it has to be a pilot in there that's in control. He had charged the battery, so maybe there's something else going on that it won't start. But we'll see. Alright, so I wanted to let you guys know that, you know, part of private pilot life is things like this. Last week was my plane, and this week it's Gary's, and it's just all part of the fun of owning an airplane. So I'm going to check out here, and once we get back in the air, then I'll pick it back up. Alright, as promised, here we are in the Piper 181. We're doing some pattern work at this time. I was unable to connect my A20 Bose via Bluetooth in a quick manner, and we just wanted to jump in the plane and go, so I figured I'd just do a voiceover, which I'm doing right now from my Mac in my house. So I have since learned how to use this Bluetooth, which is going to be pretty cool, and hopefully the sound comes out good. As you can see, Gary's panel is a lot different than mine, and he has an autopilot, which I do not at the time. Waiting for some technology to come online here so that I can add it to my plane. As always, though, you know, it has to do with money, and you just got to save up a little at a time and do what you got to do, unless you're very wealthy, which I'm not. So here we are. We're on 2-1 and final approach, and ready to land, and not to a complete stop, but just basically a touch and go. And there he is. And as you'll see here in a second, we'll just take right back off. And you'll see how beautiful this sunset is. It's just basically spectacular. I mean, it was the best night ever. We didn't hit any bumps. It was smooth as can be. And, you know, at the very beginning of this video, it showed you how we had to jump start. Well, what we thought was that we were going to jump start the plane. Here it ended up being the starter. And luckily, Gary's a mechanic, so he made short work of that. We jumped in the plane and took off. So that's all part of the private pilot life. And this is what makes it all worth it. Just getting up there and the smooth ride like this and spectacular sunset. It's just, that's what I live for. It's not for everybody, but for me, that's where I find my joy. And as I come around here, as we come around, I should say, you can see the little mountains that are in the distance there. It's kind of like a bowl, basically, where the Martinsburg Airport is. So the wind that goes across gives you a little bit of turbulence, and it's almost right at the altitude of the pattern altitude. Here you see the ForeFlight app again, and yeah, you can see the plane that's on there. That's us. And as I expand this, you see we left on 2-1, and we're heading on downwind right now. We're turning on to downwind, and it'll come to base, and then final. We'll take another or make another takeoff and landing, and you know, unless we decide to come to a complete stop, which I think we did on this last clip here. Again, look at that sunset. I mean, obviously the video's not showing it any justice, but it was just the perfect night. And so the next time hopefully I'll be flying my plane, because I wanted to be in the controls. But it was just it's really nice to be on the passenger side sometimes. In fact, that was the first time I was in the right seat for I can't even remember how long. Anyway, we're going to come in here for a landing. We're on final now. And as you can see, there's a lot of aspects to the private pilot life. And you can see a little bit of snow there. It was cold. That's why the starter was freezing up on us. But yep, here's our last landing. And until next time, guys, you know, stay tuned. And this is all part of that private pilot life. Take care. Till next time.